Hey, happy holidays. It is Friday, December 22nd. We're winding down to Christmas. I've been sort of a little out of sorts the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure many of you know. And but boy, today I kind of got up re-inspired, ready to play the guitar a little bit. My nail is almost it's growing back to where I can just get a little sound. Finally, it was my ring finger, and it was just totally, it disappeared. So I tried redoing some things using just two fingers, but I thought, it'll be back in a week. I can suffer and not rearrange a bunch of stuff. But it did make it kind of hard to play. That song is kind of what got me back to playing the guitar just this morning, because for some reason it ran through my head, Sleigh Ride, and it's just it's been one of my favorites forever. Leroy Anderson, lyrics by Mitchell Parrish, and there's even another part that, well, I shouldn't even go there. I don't know how it's going to go yet. There it is. Something like that. Okay, anyway, you get the idea. But it made me realize that I probably haven't told a very long version. This might turn into a long story. My Christmas story. I'm sure I've had bits and pieces of this around, but many years ago, I believe it was 1984, Greg, my partner at Joplin Sweeney, got a call from Macy's. They were having, they needed entertainment in Macy's all over the Bay Area, and they were willing to pay. Well, they wanted 5 hours a day of people or a group in each store, and it was $10 an hour. But what that meant was over 12 days, it was worth $600. That was a fortune at the time. Still is. But and I could do it in my free time. I went down there in the morning and still taught in the afternoon, so I didn't have to like break out any time. So I wandered around this Macy's in Sunnyvale and played Christmas carols for like 5 hours. So I put together charts. I just happened to dig. I stumbled upon these the other day. Let me see. How many pages is it? It's about 8 or 9 pages. And each one has four or five quick little charts. I just had this with me, and I, well, like for example, here's one. Came upon a midnight clear. All I had was the chords. Anyway, this is what I would do. I'd just sit there with a song in front of me, and then I'd play through it a couple of times, and then I'd move into the next one. And sometimes they would sound like that. Sometimes they get ragtimey. Anyway, and so at the end of that year. The next year going into it I thought, I should record some of these because I had a lot of them in pretty good shape. So I made a tape, and I just ran into my first version. This is like when I just hand wrote things on there, and it has a lot of songs that eventually showed up on the CD I made a couple of years later. But there's a few that I never got around to. Oh, Christmas Tree, I don't think that was in there, and Here We Come a Caroling. How's that one go? Must have done it C. you get the idea. And the next year, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go into a studio. I went to my friend Joe Weed's studio in the Los Gatos Mountains here, and recorded a few of these, and got somebody to put together a cover. You probably can't see this. I might have to. Maybe I'll scan it and get it rolling here so you can see what it looked like. But got a little artworky thing done. It says a Christmas collection, and had some cassettes, and walked into a store just down the street from my store thinking, you know what, now I got to try to sell these things. I've got like 100 of them. And so I walked into a store called Farnsworth. It was a little gift store at Old Town. And they were playing music. And it was like the first week of December by the time I got copies of the cassette. And they were just, it was packed. And, you know, I hear something playing, and they've got a nice little display on there talking about what they play or what they have for sale, but they've always got something on there that you can listen to. So I interrupted what the guy was doing. I said, "Hey, I hear you play music here. Would you be interested in this?" And he kind of grumbled and said, "Oh, I'm really busy. I can't." And so, but anyway, he grabs the tape and puts it on. He thought, might as well get a little, I don't know, either reaction or see what happens. And of course, it opens up with. Anyway, and you know, it plays for five or 10 minutes, and I just kind of wander around the store, and I'm heading back up there to kind of pick it up and go away, and a lady walks up to the counter as if I had scripted this and said, "Hey, do you have? I really like what's playing right now. Do you have that?" And you know, the cassette was sitting there on the counter, and he looked kind of over her shoulder at me, and I said, "Sure." You know, I said, and he goes, "Yeah." And so he sold that one right there. And then he said, "Let me take." He asked me to leave them, I don't know, 6 or 8 or something. And they probably did them on consignment or something too. I don't even know. But eventually, it was kind of cool because I was really worried when I got 100 of these. What am I going to do with 100 of these cassettes? You know, when I'll have 90 of them left after I give away 10 to everybody I know. Luckily, in 3 or 4 days, they were all gone, and I think I ended up going through about 300 that year. And so it was kind of encouraging, and that made me think the next year I would do something a little bit fancier, and that's when I got a fancier cover made, and found a distributor. Remember these things, cassettes? And found a distributor that would carry that. They were in Portland. And that sold stuff to stores like this all around the country. So they were kind of the Hallmark, you know, the gift store and card store type distributors, and that was kind of cool. So for a while they were available all around the country, and that's what made me make a second album, the Beatles album, like the next 6 months later, I think. So that was 1988 by then. But why now? The reason that's about the end of this story, I think. I just want to. There was one more thing I was going to tell you about. Oh, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to piece this together. But it also I found a video of that was made on a local TV station, KCAT, here in Los Gatos in 1984. That was one of those. They ran it continually over Christmas, and it was me playing songs in front of a tree. So if all goes well, and by the time you see this, it may have even seen the light of day. But anyway, trying to get that back into the public. I looked very different back in those days, and then even found some other videos. Well, anyway, Christmas break sometimes is time where around here in my family we spend a lot of time looking at old movies, like movies when the kids were little and stuff like that, because people tend to be around the house a little bit more. So that's turned into a bit of a holiday tradition, and that's kind of what made me today go dig up these tapes and things like that and head down memory lane. So I guess that's it. All I really wanted to do today was try to get back in circulation. I'm not sure if I'll be back next week. Things are slowing down here. I mean, so at TG we're kind of grinding into let's let the year end and let everybody spend time with their families and friends, and hopefully playing some pretty cool music. I don't have much else I've been working on lately because I really haven't played the guitar in 2 weeks since the finger injury. So, thanks to everybody for all your well wishes and thoughts with our other little unfortunate situation going on around here. I want to thank Bart for sending me a Thalia capo. It's right over there. It's just out of reach right now, but have had fun experimenting with that. I guess while I'm pushing things, you might also think about gift cards for friends of yours for TG. Give them a 3-month membership or something like that if you know any guitar players. Or go into our audio store and get them a copy of Hector Garcia. Oh no, get them my Christmas album. I think it's still available as an MP3 download there for, I don't know, maybe $10, maybe $9, something like that. Can't be much. But every once in a while, I keep things on. I got to tell you something else, kind of funny. Well, as I may have mentioned here many times, that I usually have music playing in the house almost 24/7, and right now I've got the holiday songs on shuffle and stuff, and even when I don't have those, every once in a while something comes up that I recorded, like my Christmas thing, which I think was 1988 or so, yeah, and I start thinking back and like, oh man, that was so long ago. I'm so much, I would have done it so differently now. But as I listen to it, I end up always thinking, that was I kind of like it. So I'm really happy to say I don't go back and listen to those things and say, oh, what was I thinking? God, there was one. Did I do that in White Christmas? Gotta go up here. Anyway, I remember putting some really weird chords in White Christmas, but I think I may have fixed them later. That may have been only on the original one. So did some bizarre harmony things every once in a while in songs. Just to, all of that. Oh, that's what I should have done. I should have brought out my John Fahey records, because the New Possibility, his first Christmas album, was hugely inspirational to me. Hearing him do stuff, and so many of my songs, many of my first things on the first album, are pretty much taken from his. He showed me the path to do some of those things, and introduced the idea of, or something he did with other songs, not so much with his Christmas ones, I don't think, was doing medleys of tunes. So that's a lot of what led me to do these medleys. And of course, playing at Macy's for the 5 hours a day did the same thing. I'd play through a song and run through it a few times, and then just have it morph into the next one. So I think that is it. Let me run that by again. Yep, I think I'm going back to playing and editing old videos, and I hope to get one of those up there to share with you and see what you think of long-haired Neil in front of the Christmas tree, and even my train gets shown in it a little bit. So I hope to get that rolling soon. In any case, I hope everybody has a great time with family and friends over this weekend and next week, and can keep the stress levels as in check as possible. It's not always easy to do around the holidays. So, I should end with something. Happy holidays, and I'll be back soon.